Lesti and I'm 18 years old this year. I live in Batam and I'm a former alumni of Yosdarsul High School. It's kind of complicated when people ask me where I'm studying right now because I was actually a university student in Sydney in Australia in this university called Western Sydney University. But I was not passionate with the course I was majoring in, so I've actually resigned from my university and I've returned to Batam, and I'm actually planning to depart again to Australia this December. When people ask me, why do you want to study so far away? And I guess the most simplest answer that I can give is that it has actually been a dream of mine to study overseas, because I see myself as a very adventurous person who loves to experience new atmosphere, meet new people, and to face life challenges. And when I got the approval from my parents, I started browsing for universities, and I found out that this Western Sydney University is offering scholarship to international students. And at the time I was very excited because it's kind of like a rare thing for Australian universities to offer scholarship to international students, because Australia is very well known for its education and a lot of international students actually go there to study. So if you started looking for a scholarship, if you would try to look it up, there's actually not a lot of choices of scholarship available to international students, and that is why when I found out about this opportunity, I just applied for it without any further consideration, and my application outcome was successful. I consider this period of time as a tough period in my life, but it didn't last too long because I'm a very adaptable person, and so I adjust to things very fast. So this period of time is just a short period of my life, but to be honest, it's very challenging and I didn't see this as a bad experience. On one hand, I think it's very fun to be able to witness like all this intimacy that I usually see in Netflix, in Facebook, and in Instagram, and I'm actually witnessing it in real life. And on the other hand, like there are all these Asian friends that keep my Indonesian culture, my Chinese culture, like all these norms and values still in hand. So I kind of like balance in both ways. In my university, instead of learning in a big classroom where the lecturer explains to hundreds of students at once, we use the system called the online lecture, where we learn the materials first at home, but then we still have to attend weekly tutorial, in which, in my opinion, I personally think it is more effective because we as students, we prepare the materials first. So we come to the classes prepared, knowing about the materials, understanding first, and at home we can adjust with the time frame to study and also the effectiveness, and ensuring that we understand the materials first, and then if there's anything that is missing out, then we can ask it with the lecturer directly. Despite my dream became a reality, it's kind of like funny because in fact when I first arrived in Australia, instead of feeling excited and happy for living in my dream, I was actually very sad and devastated. I felt so pressured, I felt so lonely because I was all alone in a new place that I've never been before. Like I didn't even know where to look for food, where to shop, where to go, and I had to take care of myself, and I'm the only person who I can rely myself on to. I didn't experience any particular cultural shock because with media nowadays, even before I went to Australia, I was already exposed to the picturization of Western culture. Like I was already expecting things like couples showing their affection in public, or things like being approached by stranger, in which you can't really find this kind of situation in Indonesia, and the normalization of alcohol, drinking, clubbing. So I didn't feel any uncomfortable seeing for example, my university friends showing their intimacy in classes, because I was already mentally prepared even before I went to Australia. Also, at the same time, there are a lot of international students from Asia who I believe they share the same norms and like values as I do. So I didn't have any problem acclimating to the culture in Australia. Also, by having all these Asian friends, I think I acclimate to the culture pretty well and I can cope with the situations very well. Also, one thing that I think differs the most between studying in Australia and in Indonesia is the opportunity in making friends. Before I started my studies, I thought I'll be able to broaden my network and to make more international friends. But what actually happens is that everyone in my university, especially because I was in a business class, they all either have a part-time job or they have something else in their weekly schedule other than studies, maybe organization or something else to do. So most of them, they don't put their 100% focus into university, which is kind of like declining for me because it shows that they're in university for just business degree, not to make friends or not to spend their effort and time into studies. So back in Australia, I had a really hard time in making friends because friends that you meet in classes are for assignments, not for friends, not to hang out, not to like know you more in person, but just for assignments. Even though I had problems with my major, but I really have to admit that my overall experience in Australia is so amazing. Everything was so new and exciting to me. I was bombarded by the curiosity of what is inside the Sydney city, and I was so driven, I was so motivated. I believe that my university life is going to be a whole new chapter, a start over for me, and an opportunity for me to remand my mistakes, to be a better person. I was so driven to face challenges. I was so ready. And to whoever that is watching this video, if you have the opportunity to study overseas, go for it. Take up the challenge, because trust me, whenever you successfully overcame one challenge, that feeling is priceless.